I'm hardly able to do it.
Can you hear me now? Is this better?
Yeah, it is better. Yeah, tell me.
Okay.
Yeah, so can you just give me an overview of your profile as in what is your background? Have you worked on IT side or what is the background for?
I'm business analyst in the IT side, business and process analyst in the IT side. My last 2-3 projects I worked on service management. I worked for KPMG for almost a year, implementing service, not implementing service management like in the tool, but doing the process work for change management, problem management, service requests, and incident management. So, and currently I'm working for a bank over here, CIBC in Canada. And again, I'm working in their service management department. And I'm responsible for creating their change management and incident management processes. I have, then moreover, I've, at KPMG while I was working there, I was responsible for creating all of the test scripts in service management for change management and problem management. So I created all the test scripts. I created the UAT plan. So I worked hands-on in Servicenow, but as a business user, not as an implementer. My goal really is I would like to be able to do the configuration, like implementation in ServiceNow. I'm not saying I want to be the developer. I don't know if that's like, if I'm not a developer I used to be a developer like 11, 12 years ago. I've done Java scripting and Unix scripting, but that was a long, long time ago. And now I'm more into the business analysis and systems analysis side. So I really want to get hands-on with ServiceNow. I don't know if this is the course for me or basically the certification that I'm really looking to do for ServiceNow is the implementation certification. So I asked yesterday, I posted a question yesterday to Ashok, who recommended me here. Will this course assist me in doing my implementation service certification in ServiceNow? And the response was yes. So that's what I'm really looking for.
So have you done admin and the developer certifications?
No, I have not done admin or developer certifications.
How it goes within ServiceNow is you will have to first write admin and then only you can go with implementation. Okay?
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
I was looking at the course catalog online and the training and the certification catalog, and yeah, and yes, I read that you have to do admin certification, then you do the implementation certification. But do you have to do the development certification?
Yeah, that too.
Oh, you have to do the development. So is development really like writing code, or is it just like?
It's more of a logic kind of thing, as in you'll not have to write the code. Snippets will be given to you. You will have to just see whether the syntax is correct or not. Sometimes it will ask you what object or what kind of definition to use. So you will not write extensively the script, only the logic kind of thing, as in multiple choice questions, the fill in the blanks, those kind of stuff will be there in the developer.
Okay.
Okay. So it's good to know that you are from the Java background. So you will be knowing your functionalities of the Java and also that'll help you. I'll not say you will be using Java extensively, but yeah, obviously if you have an idea of Java, it helps you to understand the logic building part. Whatever the logic is given to you, whatever requirement is given to you, at least we are able to visualize it in a better way if we come from the technical background. Correct?
True, but let me put that this way, that I did scripting, like I said, Java scripting I did 5-6 years ago. So I've been a little out of it, but I do remember the syntax here and there. I can refresh myself.
At any point in time, we are not going to use extensively Java scripting, so you don't remember to learn the syntaxes. What I meant by logic was that, let's say if I give you a requirement, you should be able to picturize it, how to achieve that requirement.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Yeah, so that you will be having idea because you are from the business aspect, so you will be knowing how to get the requirement and all. So obviously, you will have clarity in on all those stuff, correct?
Absolutely, yeah.
So that's good to know. So do you have any idea of what is ServiceNow? Any overview or something like that?
Vague overview, sort of. I know that ServiceNow is a service management tool. It's basically
Mhm.
used as a ticketing system. It's basically replacing Remedy in a lot of aspects.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. So let's see one thing. Let's see the detail of it. Let's see an overview of it. So what is ServiceNow? Let's try to understand that. So at any point in time, what is ServiceNow is, it is a ticketing tool. As you told, yeah, obviously the service management part of it will be there. But let's see the detail of it. So what is a ticketing tool? Let's try to understand that. Okay, so think about your company. I'll start with the layman languages and I'll start as an end user perspective and then we'll move ahead with the other terms. Okay. Hope that is okay. Okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. So first thing first, which we need to understand over here is that at any point in time, how will the system work? As in, when I talk about, let's say, maybe if I talk about, let's say you're setting up a new organization. So if you are setting up a new organization, what are things you will do? So obviously you are setting up a company. So in that company, you will need to have a ticketing tool. Let's say the ticketing tool A or B or C. What will it be used for? You need it so that the day-to-day work. Let's say, for example, if I join the company, what I need? I need a new laptop to be provided to me. Let's say I need a BlackBerry service to be provided to me. At the same time, some software, some hardwares will be have to be installed or provided to me. Correct? So now,
True.
when a company is not having any kind of tool to do all such kind of things, so what will people do? Obviously, I'll have to walk into the IT support desk or the technical team, whosoever is taking care of assigning all these services, all these offerings. I'll have to walk into that particular desk to get these offerings with me, correct? So
Correct. Yeah.
obviously, if a tool is in picture, it will make your work more easy because now you have an automated process. You no need for you to know what is the location of the person or what is the location of the team which does the work. But what you will do in the system at any point in time, you will just go ahead in the system and you will create a ticket based on what kind of request you want to make. You will create the ticket accordingly. Correct?
Correct. And that's considered service request, right?
Yeah, yeah. That is called service request. Yeah.
Okay.
So this is one aspect of the tool. What is the other aspect of a tool? Another aspect can be, let's say you are holding a server. Suppose I'm holding a laptop from my organization and today I started facing an issue in it. Let's say the keyboard is not working or the mouse is not working. So if I start facing issue of a kind, what I need to do now? Obviously I need to get that fixed.
So you'll raise a problem ticket.
You will raise an incident over there in that case.
Incident. Yeah. Sorry. Incident. Okay.
Okay, so means overall, so I'll not say these are the only application. I'll start with these applications. We'll see the other application after some time, but I'll start the understanding with this, that if you need some new offering or if something is broken, as in if something is not working as desired, you will do what? You will use the concept of your service now. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
So now that was a layman language definition. As in when I talk about an end user perspective who don't have any idea what is service, now that can be a definition. That is, it is a ticketing tool which provides you the support where you can raise a request of some kind or you can raise incident. Incident means what? Means if something is broken and you need to report an issue, you can do that as well.
Okay.
Correct?
Correct.
So now, let's see the definition part of it. As in when I come from a technical aspect, what does it say? It says that over here I'm reading out the slide. It says ServiceNow is a software platform that supports IT service management and automates the common business process. So that's what it is saying over here as well. That is, by using a ticketing tool like ServiceNow, you are automating the common business process of your organization. Correct?
Correct.
And it supports obviously the day-to-day management of the IT service management. It automates that particular process. Next, what it says that ServiceNow is what? It is a software as a service that contains number of applications that can vary by instance and user. So let's try to understand this term over here. So what do we mean by SaaS? So let's come to that definition. So if you purchase any tool, the tool can be purchased in two ways by your organization. One is software as a service, another one is platform as a service. So I think you will have an idea about the difference between the two. Do you have?
Software service, yes. Platform, no.
Okay, so let's see that. So let's say if I purchase the tool, and I'm saying that the moment you purchase the tool, now your company is responsible for maintaining the tool. As in, when I say maintaining means what? If the server needs to be expanded, or if a database is having any issue, or if server crashes, taking the backup of all those stuff. So means entire platform is now in your company scope when you purchase the platform as a service of a tool. So now
Okay.
your company is responsible for the entire platform of the tool. Then it is called platform as a service. And
Okay.
negation of it is software as a service. That is when your company is only using the tool. They are not responsible for maintaining of it. Okay. So what ServiceNow says is, why ServiceNow? Because obviously n number of ticketing tools are there in the market. ServiceNow is not the only one. There are Remedy, there is HPSM. So why ServiceNow? So the answer to it is because ServiceNow is based on SaaS. That is software as a service. Means ServiceNow company says that if suppose ABC company is going to use ServiceNow, they will only have to worry about customizing the tool. Maintenance of the tool, that is the database side of it, the server side of it, is still in the scope of the parent company, that is ServiceNow.
Okay.
So because of that, obviously advantages are there. Obviously, suppose my company, suppose I'm working for Apple, for example. So in this case, if Apple is going to use ServiceNow, Apple will only have to hire people who know ServiceNow level scripting. No need for them to hire the Oracle, as in the SQL people. No need for them to hire people who have got expertise on Unix command, because SQL related to database is not in scope of company Apple, and also the database is not in scope of the company. Both the database and the server is in scope of the ServiceNow company, parent company. So ServiceNow parent company is going to take care of the database and the server.
Got it.
Okay, makes sense?
Yeah, makes sense.
Okay. So now obviously it contains number of applications that we'll see later. Then another concept it says over here is that your service now, how will you log in into the service now? Obviously you will I'll give it to you a proper user ID and password through which the authentication will happen, and then you will be logging in inside the system, correct?
Correct.
So for that particular purpose, obviously we'll create different user profiles, and individually for every user we'll give a user ID, a password through which the authentication will happen, and the person will be logging in into the system. Now, other concept over here which it says that ServiceNow contains multiple instances. What do we mean by that? Let's see. So what ServiceNow says is that to make the developer team work more easy, ServiceNow says if any company purchases my tool, I'll give minimum of 3 different URL to the company. Okay.
Okay.
One URL will be designated only for the dev activities, other will be designated for the testing activities, and the third one will be the final one, the go live URL, that is the production URL.
Got
So
it.
as the name is very much clear, that is in the development team will do their work. In the testing instance, test team will do their work. And the go live will be used by the actual customers or the end users.
End users.
So these 3 different URL, dev URL, test, and your production URL, because all these belong to the same organization, so obviously the overall structure of these instances will be same. The baseline of it will be same. Obviously some extra things will be there in dev, which the dev team is working on, but otherwise the overall structure of all the 3 different URL will be same.
Same. Yeah.
So that's why we'll use the term instances. So instance came from the concept of class in Java. That is, all the 3 objects will have the same kind of structure. So that's why we'll refer it by instance instead of using the URL. So we'll say dev instance, test instance, and the production instance.
Got it.
Okay. So let's see the next slide. Next slide talks about SaaS. So already I've told you about SaaS. That is, it provides the server and the database in scope of the parent company. So how is the database accessed? So obviously you will access the data when it is a software as a service. You will access the data through a web-based interface. Like for example, see, this is my URL. This is my ServiceNow instance URL. So you can see what am I doing through a web-based interface. I'm fetching the data from the database, which is in scope of the ServiceNow parent company.
Got it.
Okay. Now, what is next? Next talks about the history of ServiceNow. So ServiceNow's history goes back in 2003. ServiceNow was founded by Fred Luddy, and this guy was initially working for Remedy, which is biggest competitor of ServiceNow. And ServiceNow's headquarters is in California. Okay. Also, ServiceNow is based on ITIL standards. So do you know what is ITIL standard stands for?
Yeah, I've studied for the foundation course. I just have to do my certification.
Okay, so you will be knowing all the ITIL workflow, that strategy, design, and everything else, correct?
Yes.
So if I just brush that up, so we can say ITIL is nothing but it is a framework which helps you in analyzing the requirement in a better way, because when you are designing the tool, you don't only think about the technical aspect of it, but also you think about the demand of it, the capacity of the tool, and so many other stuffs are involved as part of the ITIL process, correct?
Yes.
So that's what it is saying over here. That is, it says ITIL is the most widely accepted approach in the IT service management, and it helps individuals to realize IT, change the transformation and growth. Now, as you are knowing ITIL, so you will be knowing these benefits. So obviously, because ITIL gives you more understanding of the requirement perspective of it, like you have to maintain the database, as in it says you, it suggests you that you keep the database backups with you. You see whether your tool is capable enough. If let's say 10,000 people log in, so will your tool be able to handle that much load or not? Means overall, I can say that ITIL is doing nothing but it is giving you broader picture of the tool, so that in long run, the defects will be less. Because of that, obviously the customer satisfaction will be more and the rework cost will be less, correct?
Yes. Right.
So that's what I have written over here. We are talking about the benefits. So those benefits are clubbed over here. So those are the same benefits, whatever you would have seen at the time of your training, okay?
Yeah, perfect.
Now, what I said that ServiceNow is based on ITIL framework means, can I, just one second. Sorry. Can I say that whatever are the benefits in ITIL, obviously it will be passed to ServiceNow as well, because ServiceNow is based on ITIL framework?
Yes.
Okay. So obviously these benefits will be there in your tool. And now let's come to the features of the ServiceNow. So right now we are moving a bit fast because that is just the basic. When we'll be covering the scripting, then we'll be a bit slow. I'll just show you each and everything, okay?
Okay, sounds good.
I hope that is fine with you. The pace is fine,
No.
or?
Yeah, the pace is fine. I mean, because some of this some of these things I know, and it's just a refresher, so it's good. The pace is good.
Okay. So let's talk about the features of the tool. So these are some of the features. The first one is simple and consistent. So if you know the terms, like you know that, okay, if you have to get an incident, you will type in what? If I know the keywords for what I'm looking for, if I have to create incident, let's say, for example, based on the keyword search, in the left side, you can see the data is getting returned to you. The results are getting returned to you. And the names are very much specific for an end user also to understand what kind of data are they looking for.
Yeah.
So that is about the simple and consistent. Other one is flexible. So how flexibility and how easy to integrate, we'll see at the time of integration. When we'll be covering the integration part of it, then these two topics, these two features will make more sense at that particular time.
Okay.
Next is what? Secure. So you will see whenever the ServiceNow transactions are happening, it always happens through a HTTPS protocol, that is secure protocol.
Yeah.
And last one is obviously nothing but speed time to production. So already it came as part of the ITIL framework. So before that, let me give you the link how you can get your own ServiceNow instance. So go to the Google and just search for ServiceNow developer instance. And you go to this developer program. One second, just one second. Let me just ping it to you so that you can get your own developer instance. So this is the link to which you have to register, developer.servicenow.com. Just register over there. Then it will give you, once you register it and once you log in into that instance, it will give you an option to request your own instance. So once you click on that, you will get your individual demo instance like I am having one.
Okay.
So the only restriction is that this is a free of cost instance, no need to pay anything. The only restriction is that you have to keep it active. As in, if you have to log in once every day, otherwise it will go in a sleep mode and you can still wake it up. But if you don't log in continuously for 10 days, the instance will be taken back from you.
Okay.
Okay? That is the only restriction which works in the company. So just keep a habit of refreshing it every day so it will be active.
So
Don't
basically,
need
I
to
have to
write
sign up. I have to sign up for it, and then do I? It's a web-based platform. It would be a web-based instance, right?
yeah.
Okay, got it.
No extra installations are required, nothing else is required.
Okay.
Okay. So you can get your instances like this. Now, if you get this instance, so whatever coding you do, it is exposed as in this instance only you can access. No one else can access it. So everyone gets their own individual access, their own development instance. It becomes very easy for you to do your demo work or whatsoever you want to do. Okay.
Okay, got
Let's
it.
go back and let's see the architecture of ServiceNow. Okay. So this is the architecture of ServiceNow. Obviously, this is an important question when you are going for interviews and all. So on the top layer of the architecture lies the user interface. So obviously, end user, how will they communicate with any tool? They will use the user interface, the form, the list, or howsoever the form they are looking up with. So they will interact through this one, correct? So next is what? Next is these two protocols. So these SOAP and the next one is used for what? It is used for integration purpose. As in whenever you have to integrate your data, that time you will be using these integration protocols.
Okay,
Now,
got it.
ServiceNow has developed its own scripting language. It is in scope only within ServiceNow.
Okay.
Okay. So as I told you that we the developers, we need to know that scripting so that we can do that particular scripting in the system. So that scripting which is specific only to ServiceNow lies over here in the scripting layer. And obviously end users won't have access to this layer. Only the technical team, as in we the ServiceNow developers will have access to this layer.
Okay.
So we the developers will have access to obviously the top layer user interface plus the scripting layer. Now, these two layers, the DB layer and the database layer are in scope of ServiceNow parent company. We can't access the DB layer and the database.
Okay.
So when we have to send or fetch the data to the database, we'll be writing ServiceNow level scripting and this script will be translated to the SQL. Obviously, database only understands the SQL command, correct?
Right. Yes.
So whatever ServiceNow level scripting you write, that gets converted into the SQL command in this DB layer. How it happens, that conversion is again not exposed to you.
Okay.
Okay. So then the DB layer gets the SQL command, it hits the database, and then whatever database returns, again the DB layer does the conversion so that the data can be returned into ServiceNow level scripting and it goes to the scripting layer. And finally, in the scripting layer, we the developers write the logic in which field or which form do you want to populate the data in the user interface.
Okay.
So this is very much simple. It is not at all complex. So this is what the overall structure of the ServiceNow architecture is.
Got it.
Okay. So next few slides, I'll be talking about the key applications. I know you people know the term. You and Rafi both know the term of all these, so it will be much easy for us to start. But I want you, both of you, to get used to the terms because in the incident, there will be some terms which will be specific only in the ServiceNow tool and those will have their own understanding and their own meaning.
Okay.
So for that particular purpose, from tomorrow I'll start it because for Rafi also I've not covered these key applications. So I'll start it tomorrow once. Not tomorrow, tomorrow.
Day after tomorrow. Yeah.
Okay. So let's start this one from day after tomorrow. Okay.
Sure. I have a question for you,
Tell me.
if I may. One of the key questions that came up like when we were discussing currently, what's the main difference between change management and release management?
Okay. See, change management works on a, I'll say how. If you are working on a broader picture, it will be what release. Under releases, the changes can be clubbed up. You can think it like that.
So basically, an individual change is considered to be a is part of the change management process. But when you have multiple changes that are going through at the same time, you can bundle them all together.
To
And
bring a release.
does it have to be for a particular application or a particular service, or can it
Yes.
be multiple services that can be bundled up as together and clubbed as a release management ticket, and they're all released at the same time? That's what it is?
Multiple can be clubbed up.
Okay, got it.
The change is related only to an individual configuration item at a time.
Oh, change is particular configuration item.
Yeah. And in the release, a broader picture is there. In the release, you would say that, okay, this particular release, how many activities or how many items will be clubbed on together. So for individual item, you can create change. And all these changes you can club on together for a release. So under a release, multiple items can be there.
Now, I don't know if I'm asking this question, and maybe you will cover it, but configuration item, from what I understand, so a configuration item can, for example, be an application within the organization, right? That is considered my configuration item.
Picture is more wider than that, but yeah, for now, to start up with the basic, you can understand in that way. That is, you can say application. But to give you an overview, think
Yeah.
about whatever is there in a company which generates some kind of resource or some kind of monetary benefit to the organization is called an asset. So asset includes we the resources, we the employees of the organization, plus everything other than the employees. Asset includes the software, the hardware, the database, your maybe the IP address, everything. So now, other than resources, my asset management, assets minus resources will become your configuration item. The items which can be configured in an organization. A server can be configured, a database can be configured, a laptop, a hardware, a software, everything else can be configured other than a resource. So everything other than resource is called a configuration item.
Okay, got it.
Does that answer your question?
Yes.
Okay. Any other query?
No, for now, no. I have a lot of questions, but I'm guessing it will be answered as we go along.
Yeah, yeah. We'll be seeing that student steadily, but yeah, we'll be covering all those aspects. So.
Now, if you look at the architecture layer, just last question for the day, the scripting layer, right? How much of that, how heavily are we involved in the scripting layer?
So if your profile is developer, you are extensively involved only in the scripting layer. Your profile revolves around the scripting layer. But if
Okay.
you are admin, if your profile is admin, you are just doing the maintenance of it. So at that time, you just have to have a basic understanding of scripting. Even if you're not having extensive understanding of scripting, it is fine. But if you have a developer profile, extensive understanding of scripting is required. Each and every aspect of the scripting you have to develop and you have to maintain.
So what's the difference between the developer profile and an implementer profile?
Developer and implementer is the same thing. Only the difference is between, see, implementer is on a broader scope. As in when I say a developer, it only talks about the, let's say some scripting example if I take, let's say I talk about business rule, client script. But when you talk about implementation, it broadens your scope as part of the developer also. As in the understanding is more when you talk about implementation. But overall, if you get the profile of developer or implementation, it is the same thing from a profile aspect of it.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
I'm good.
Okay. We'll continue on Friday. Huh? Sorry,
Okay.
what
And
Thursday? That is Thursday morning.
Friday morning, right? So no classes on Saturday and Sunday, right?
That depends on you people, how you want. As in, I think you can collaborate with Srinivas on this and you can let me know.
Okay. That's fine.
Okay.
All right.
Okay,
Then
bye-bye.
have a good day. Bye-bye.
Thank you. You too. Bye-bye.